next you may start.
Wait. PPT 那个呢？就放 PPT 那个呢？然后怎么着？ Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad that I can represent UINP team to share with you our project, Unitary Protocol for Future Blockchain, UINP. Before the presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Steve. I'm the technical director of UINP product. And let's start with a story. Long time ago, when all human beings live in one place and spoke the same language, they planned to build a tower up to heaven, which God was found shocked. And then he thought, if human beings can build such tower, what else cannot be accomplished? So God decided to stop the process by confounding human language and dividing human into different race groups. Similarly, current blockchain industry faces the same difficulty, that the language problem makes different blockchain communicate very hard. However, with the development of blockchain industry itself, it's now possible to let blockchain communicate with each other. Let's first think blockchain as network. As we all know, current internet network is of this kind of structure, where a central server responds for every request arrived to it. For example, the information from your PCs, your mobile phones, or even your Apple Watch nowadays, which is Internet of Things. And for example, Amazon and Google deal with thousands and thousands transactions per second. However, blockchain network is a network that of this kind of structure, where nodes in the network can communicate in an equivalent way and get information equally to verify the transactions. It's a peer-to-peer network. Nowadays, there are three kinds of blockchain networks. The first type of blockchain is public blockchain, which is a global network. For example, everyone can connect to Bitcoin network through a piece of program, and the process is called mining. The second type is custom blockchain, which is a network among a group of organizations. For example, the most famous custom chain, R3, consists of 80 financial institutions. They share same on-chain encrypted data so that each organization can transfer money to the other without a friction. And also, the last step is private blockchain, which is network within a certain organization. For example, if a company decides to use blockchain to manage its business, then the different departments can be separated. For example, marketing department, accounting department, R&D department, and they can manage the same on-chain data. Therefore, no one can modify the data for his own interest. Okay, we know that blockchain are networks. So the question is, how can blockchain communicate to each other? Cross-chain technology. There are currently 4 types of cross-chain technologies. The first type is notary scheme. For example, Ripple uses this technology to connect different accounting systems, which are often costume chain. Sidechain relays, for example, Bitcoin relays use Ethereum smart contract to rewrite Bitcoin protocol so that Ethereum network can understand Bitcoin information and verify Bitcoin transactions. Sidechains, for example, Cosmos and Polkadot use sidechain technology to do cross-chain stuff with a mechanism quite like a middleman model. Hash locking, Lightning Network use hash locking to lock and unlock the transactions on the 2 chain to make the cross-chain stuff. Distributed private key control. For example, OneChain and Fusion use distributed key control to image financial assets in the original chain and then transfer it in its own chain to make the cross-chain transaction happens. However, all these 4 cross-chain technologies have a similar problem. First one, they are built on the application layer of internet, which means they cannot connect blockchain network as many as possible. The second is the current cross-chain technology have less focus on the economic system and financial system. So it's raised the question for blockchain project, what's the profit for joining a cross-chain alliance? Then let me introduce the next generation cross-chain technology. It's the first world 2-layer cross-chain technology, Unitary Inter-Chain Network Protocol. The original idea of UINP comes from physics, where parallel reality can jump from one reality to the other through a tunnel named wormhole. And we found the fact, no matter what kind of a blockchain network it is, they all share the same internet infrastructure. So we decided to build a tunnel inside the internet infrastructure and make the transactions from the up layer possible. This is a tunnel. UINP is a 2-layer protocol. The tunnel resides in transport layer and the observer resides in the application layer. Okay, what can UINP do? Before we understand this question, let's first discuss the assets in a blockchain network. Let's define 2 concepts. We define basic chain tokens such as the Ether for Ethereum, Bitcoin for Bitcoin network, EOS for EOS network as prevalence. We define accumulated assets as some complex on-chain data, such as smart contract and other complex on-chain data. Then UINP can do 4 types of transactions. Let me make an example to introduce these 4 types of transactions. For example, if Ethereum network and Bitcoin network has some nodes installed UINP plugin, then the 4 types of transactions can happen. The first type is prevalence to prevalence. For example, you can exchange Ethereum and Ethereum coin, Ether, to Bitcoin without going to a centralized digital currency exchange. Accumulated assets to accumulated assets. For example, you can exchange CryptoCat to EOS RAM. The third type is prevalence to accumulated assets. You can use Bitcoin to trigger EOS RAM. The fourth type is accumulated assets to prevalence. For example, you can liquidate CryptoCat to Bitcoin. Okay, the question is, how does UINP work? As I said before, UINP is 2-layer protocols. The root chain in the transport layer is a protocol that in charge of translate, locate, and the application layer observer is in charge of information format transfer. For example, we use an algorithm called binary translation to do Ether to Bitcoin translation. Let's dig into router and observer deeper. As we all know, that a traditional TCP/IP protocol stack, if you want to find a program in certain device, for example, if you want to find the Uber in your mobile phone, you need to know the address and the port number of your Uber program. The combination of IP address and port number is called a socket. In UINP transport layer protocol, we're recording the addressing system of transport layer. We add perception hash to the sockets to make it a contract. Therefore, nodes in one network can easily find nodes in another network. For the observer, it's in charge of translation among sharding nodes. Here I'm going to introduce an example to illustrate sharding network. For example, if Ethereum and the EOS network have some nodes installed UINP plugin, which have the transport layer and observer layer and the application layer protocol, then it becomes to unitary nodes. And if a network have unitary nodes, then it becomes possible to recognize cross-chain transactions from one network to the other. And if this process happens, the two networks can communicate with each other by the algorithm we call binary translation. UINP consensus is named Proof United, which is a 3-tier consensus system. Proof for entry, is the first tier where nodes paying security deposits to participate to become a unitary node. And the reward for information forwarding, information forwarding income. The second tier is proof of verification. Nodes in this tier are going to verify all the transactions happening between different chains. And the reward for transactions verification. The third tier is Parliament nodes group. We use random deposits to eliminate the centralized characteristic of deposits. Nodes in this tier in charge of perimeter adjustment and reward for commitment jobs. Okay, let's dig into Parliament. For Parliament, it's in charge of monitoring the health condition of network, such as atomic clock, computing power, and network payload. Secondly, Parliament can forecast the next period parameters, such as workload requirement and the node increment. Thirdly, Parliament is in charge of adjust the various parameters to recover the network according to the forecast. For example, in UINP network, we have an economical system and a financial system stabilized by the two-tier adjustment. For machine part, we use a GATS module to monitor, forecast, and adjust the income standard for all the nodes inside the unitary network. And the inflation index, which decides the best cycle interest rate for the salary nodes can get. And for the other situation, economic parameters can be changed by different module to adjust according to the situation. However, there are some situations that machine loss control, the human adjustment works. For example, external economic emergencies happen. The Parliament nodes can vote the policy to determine the strategy to face these external economical emergencies. UINP's community. UINP community is a community of communities because UINP network is a network of blockchain networks. We divide community into 5 categories. Operating community, where participants of operation can do jobs to operating the whole network. Developer community, where developers can join to the community to contribute to the network source code. Financial community, where token shareholders can decide the development direction of the project. Accounting community, which is nodes managing ledgers, and other communities are either on-chain or off-chain. We have made a roadmap to become a community member and contribute to the project. It's a promotion roadmap. If you want to be UINP standard committee, then you should go through the 4 tiers of the community road. UINP ecosystem. We have built a reward pool for the community reward. And the reward pool is on-chain. The income source of a community, the 35% for the community comes from an initial state for kicking start the network. And periodical inflation income goes to the reward pool directly, as well as punishment mechanism have some income. For example, if nodes in unitary network do some bad behavior to the network, then it will be punished by the token, certain amount of token, and it's going to the reward pool. The community can be divided into off-chain community and on-chain community. For off-chain community includes online internet community and offline community, such as organizations. The on-chain community will now have nodes on-chain to be a community to operating the network. And we are developing a developer community on-chain so that our source code can be recorded on blockchain and the developers can get paid by token systematically through blockchain itself. UINP ecosystem. UINP ecosystem can be divided into 4 categories and 6 subcategories. UINP Lab, UINP Community, UINP Parliament, UINP Core Team. For UINP Lab, we have built an international university alliance where researchers can do researches to change the technical stack of blockchain industry. Community alliance, as I said before, developers in the community can achievements of all this ecosystem relate. Medium metrics refers to our medium partners, our marketing partners, etc. Blockchain alliance, because UINP network is a network of a blockchain network. So the more blockchain network join to our alliance, the more powerful of UINP network itself. And at last is a UINP core team, which in charge of value management for kicking start UINP network. Okay, at last, let me make an advertisement. Our slogan is innovate and lead to the future. If you are enthusiastic about something and interested in working in a hacking way, then welcome to join our community. Thank you very much.
Итак, в общем, мы решили